Mondstadt is filled with many wonderful characters, from the Spark Knight Klee, who loves to blow things up with her bombs, to the Knights of Favonius Quartermaster, aka Kaya, who uses his wits and charming personality to achieve his missions. All of these characters are wonderful and all, but today we're talking about the other Vision Bearer who works for the Adventurers Guild. And yes, Fischl and Bennett are the only two playable characters in the game that work for the Adventurers Guild. Yes, I actually took the time to look it up and look at all the characters, and those are the only two. Like, you think they'll add other characters in different regions to work for the Adventurers Guild, but no, it's only Bennett and Fischl. Well, with that said, let's talk about the Prinzessin der Verurteilung of Mondstadt, aka Fischl. Oh yeah, if I mispronounce any of these German words, I'm sorry. I don't speak German, so yeah. Part 1. Trivia. Let's start off with a pretty known fact about Fischl. Did you know that Fischl's real name is Amy? You'll learn about this when you watch Fischl's character announcement video shown here. Fischl's constellation is named Corvus, which means raven in Latin. Also, the name Fischl translates to little fish in German, which I don't know why her name translates to that. It might be referring to her personality, I guess? The left eye of hers that is covered with an eye patch is called the Auge der Verurteilung, which means Eye of Judgment. She also names her vision Edelstein der Dunkelheit, which translates to Gem of Darkness. The last piece of trivia I want to talk about is that Oz's full name is Osvaldo Hrafnavind, and her Hrafna part of his name translates to Raven in Old Norse, which is, something I did not expect. Part 2. Character Details. Fischl is the Prinzessin der Verurteilung who arrived here after being exiled from the other world, Immenartreich. She observes and weaves the threads of fate together with her talking night raven familiar, Oz. Owing to reasons she cannot and Oz will not explain, Fischl now serves the Adventurers Guild as an investigator. Part 3. Story 1. As an investigator for the Adventurers Guild, the single best advantage Fischl has over her peers is Oz. "Milady, please stop sending me out to spawn Storm Terror. That chap could eat me for breakfast. Well, I'm so puny I'd probably even get caught between his teeth. But anyway, I don't want to die." You're supposed to be my familiar. Not everyone gets to be the Prinzessin der Verurteilung's familiar, do you understand? Consider your honor to dedicate your life to serving me. Fischl's able to see through Oz's eyes. Whenever she wants to, she possesses Oz and looks down upon the earth from the sky. Whether she wants to inspect the flora on the Stormbarrow Mountains or observe a disturbance in Wolvendome, through Oz she can see anything and everything. Thanks largely to her unique ability and to a lesser extent her own effort and peculiar personality, Fischl quickly went from the rookie investigator of the Adventurers Guild to a respected rising star of the organization. She's certainly done well for herself. She only landed the coveted position of investigator at the age of 14 in the first place because her parents managed to persuade the guildmaster. Then again, would they really have to do much persuading? If she's the Prinzessin der Verurteilung, one can only assume now make them the Kaiser und Kaiserin der Verurteilung. Honestly, I was also surprised to learn that she can see through Oz. Probably because they've only shown her doing this a handful of times. The biggest example of this is in her character demo, which shows her doing some scouting on her enemies by seeing through Oz's eyes. Part 4. Story 2. It's said that there is currently an official dictionary in circulation among the adventurers, namely a book that aims to translate Fischl's peculiar way of speaking into something more understandable. For example, I hear, echoing in the abyss of time, the burning winds of the old, all of which shape the spire forgotten in the torments of karma, would translate into Storm Terror's lair. Servants of the Verurteilung name, as you have requested, prepare to receive the great wisdom of the Prinzessin. Would be, I'll look into that and let you know ASAP. Rejoice, O ye servants who long for the blessing of the Prinzessin. Venture now deep into the battlefield with hearts of the tiger. Means that the initial investigation work has been completed. All has been written in the Tome of Dark Prophecies. Simply means that her journal has been updated with the latest reports. However, the official dictionary is actually just an in-joke, not a real book. Those who are familiar with Fischl concentrate on what she means to say, not the way in which she says it. She notices this and takes it as a sign of true respect. Aha, so you do understand. Then fate does indeed bring kindred spirits together. Those who manage to adopt her speech mannerisms when they respond to her will find she is both delighted and bashful, and praises their language learning ability. A Prinzessin should always give praise where praise is due. Now, let us converse some more. Do not be mistaken, these are to be the foundations of the new world. You know, I too would like to have this Fischl dictionary, because even though Fischl's one of my favorite characters, I still have a hard time understanding what she's saying. I guess that makes me a fake Fischl fan. Part 5, Story 3. Oz and Princess Fischl are not only close friends, but also servant and master, with a shared soul and fate. Their first encounter was mentioned in Flowers for Princess Fischl Volume 1, End Time Zetsuzong. When the lone pilgrimaging princess reached the kingdom of eternal twilight, the fate-resisting royals chose to deny everything in their desperation. They refused to recognize Fischl's noble stature and mission as the princess of the Imanaktaik, denied their 13,000-year lineage as a branch of the royal family, and forsook their own nobility and restraint as humans, devolving into clumsy and vicious beasts. In the Palace of Twilight, and amidst the teeth of the beast, the princess shed her sacred blood on the ancient emblem. At the moment of her peril, the dark wings of the night ripped the trapped wooden princess from her despair and took her under its wings. Following the scent of noble blood, Osvaldo Hrafnavins, the king of ravens, came to the princess and pledged his eternal loyalty. You know, I would read the Flowers for Princess Fischl book to get more context, but nah. Part 6, Story 4. There is a story that goes as follows. A long time ago in a place far, far away, there was a tiny little girl. The girl's parents were busy adventurers. She spent most of her childhood in the library, traversing the countless universes that were contained in the pages of the library books. She became the ruler of the Imanaktaik, summoned thundering retribution as a royal princess, and formed a soul bound with a raven. Amy, what books do you read today? Her parents asked her on one of the rare occasions that they were home between adventures. She proceeded to tell them the story she had read from her favorite series. And then he said, Fischl von Lufschloff Naffendort, you are the Prinzessin der Verurteilung, my proud daughter. You shall never surrender your nobility and dreams. Oh, that's a lovely story. Since you like it so much, Amy, how about I call you Fischl too? Her father smiled, put his hands on her head, and repeated the words from the story to her. Fischl, you are my wonderful princess and my proud daughter. You shall never surrender your nobility and dreams. These kind of loving words lit up her world. However, the time with her busy parents was always fleeting. Unable to fit in with her peers due to her obsession with fairy tale novels, she often felt lonely and sad. At these times, she would remind herself, I am Fischl, my daddy's wonderful princess. It's true, because mommy and daddy said so. Never will I surrender my nobility and dreams, for they are a princess rite of passage. Aw, that's cute that her parents are playing along with her. Wouldn't it be a shame if her parents were to crush her dreams of being a princess? Story 5. Part 7, Story 5. Just like in the universe of Flowers for Princess Fischl, entropy begot destruction. In other words, the girl who loved to dream grew up. On her 14th birthday, those of her peers who refused to accommodate her quirks belittled her once again. This is but a minor setback for the noble princess. My parents will understand, she thought to herself. For she knew one thing, it was that as a princess she could never surrender her nobility and dreams. But when she threw herself into her parents' arms in need of comfort, she was met instead with gentle words of exasperation. Amy, you're 14 years old now. It's fun to make believe, but eventually you need to grow up and put your childish dreams behind you. And with that, the same voice that had once lit up her world now tore it apart. That day at midnight, she hid herself in the library she knew so well. She had a strange feeling that she was being watched. Suddenly, she heard otherworldly flapping of wings. Sure enough, she looked up and her red swollen eyes met up with those of a night raven from another world. What transpired afterwards is another story. Fischl doesn't like this story. Thinking about it causes her to feel suffocating pain and soul-devouring loneliness. Maybe one day this story would be written. But that would be Amy's story, not Fischl's. Fischl has but one identity. She's the Prinzessin. As long as she remembers this simple and perfect logic, with a bit of nobility and a touch of kindness from others, nothing can ever hurt her. Things are looking up for Prinzessin Fischl these days. Not only does she have Oz, but she has finally met a traveler just like her. Comes from a different world. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting more events that surrounded Fischl's backstory. Like, I know there was a Summertime Odyssey event that covered a bit of her backstory, but like, you can never have too much Fischl. Part 8, Flowers for Princess Fischl, Phantasmagoria. The light novel series, Flowers for Princess Fischl, is available as a collectible set. Due to tiny numbers of circulation, it is a priceless commodity amongst loyal fans of the author. But no matter how elegant these works are aesthetically, their worldview remains incredibly bleak. Every good, bright, and noble thing must eventually fall into inexorable anthropic destruction, and the final destination of the universe is the realm in waiting of the Prinzessin, Imanaktaik, This is the fate of all of the worlds of the universe and all who live in it. And the Prinzessin and her loyal companion, the night-severing Raven Oz, Osvaldo Hrafnavins, are the world's beasts who will swallow all dreams. At the end of karma itself, she will grant all the gathered souls her benediction and use her thundering retribution to cleanse all that is ugly and wicked. The Prinzessin will then set her own heart ablaze, and the universe shall be born anew in its immortal light. But before all of this can come to pass, the Prinzessin must first roam many universes and see countless new sights. Thus, it is perfectly within the spirit of the original work that the Prinzessin should be stuck as an investigator for the Adventurers Guild in a slightly backward world. Just a little twist of fate, nothing more. The Prinzessin will come to understand someday that each moment of her life, no matter how insignificant their little twists could be, is to be treasured. After all, the Prinzessin's very own Phantasmagoria is made out of ones such as these. Part 9. Vision. So is Oz just an imaginary friend who only exists as a figment of Fischl's subconsciousness? Our story begins with the royal heirloom, Edelstein the Dunkelheit, that is to say Fischl's vision. When her wish was acknowledged, the Raven Oz and her vision both appeared before her eyes. That night at dinner, Oz got on most well with Fischl's parents. "Ah, mein Kaiser und Kaiserin der Verurteilung. Forgive mine overstep, but the beans in your house are too delicious." "Oh, then please, help yourself. This is the first time little Amy has met a friend she can bring over for dinner since she turned 14. This is a special occasion." Imagine couldn't be me. What are you saying? One does not simply convert with the plebeians. And that's what happened. Just imagine one day you have an argument with your daughter, she runs to the library and comes back with a blessing from the gods and a bird made out of pure electricity. For all intents and purposes, it seems that the Kaiser und Kaiserin der Verurteilung could both see Oz, and both believe Oz to be the Prinzessin's first friend. As for the adventurer who bears the world's curse, the visitor from outer worlds, and the strange face-shaped emergency sustenance, they'll become the Prinzessin's new friends. Though, that will happen even further in the future. Well, that's all Fischl's backstory. You know, I would read Flowers for Princess Fischl, but that's too much reading, and I can't read. Nope, not one bit. Even though I took the time to read through all of Fischl's backstory and recorded it for a video, but I digress. With that said, thank you all for watching. If you want me to choose a specific character to cover in my next video, then comment down below. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, then like and subscribe. It helps this channel out a ton. Well, that's the video. Goodbye!